If you're living in Canada as a citizen or permanent resident, and you're either retired or preparing for retirement, staying informed about the Canada Pension Plan, CPP, is essential. While recent updates have made headlines with figures like a $250 boost and a new total of $1,290 per month, the full picture is more complex. What's happening with the CPP isn't just a minor tweak, it's one of the biggest overhauls in decades and will affect millions of Canadians differently depending on their age, income, and work history. The ongoing CPP enhancement, which started back in 2019, is accelerating in 2025. This change doesn't affect everyone equally or instantly. Instead, it aims to raise the maximum CPP retirement benefit by about 50% over the long term. But to access the full benefits, one needs to have contributed steadily over a full 40-year career. Government data shows that in 2025, the maximum monthly CPP payment for those aged 65 and older could reach around $1,433. However, this can vary widely based on your personal contribution history and when you start collecting benefits. For some people who have contributed at maximum levels throughout their working lives, payments could exceed $1,500 monthly. On the other hand, the average annual payout for many retirees is still around $8,800. The much-discussed $250 increase in contributions seems tied to the new two-tier structure being phased in as part of the CPP enhancement. Under this system, income up to $71,300 in 2025 will be taxed at the base contribution rate of 5.95%. Income between $71,300 and $79,400, an additional $8,100, will now be subject to a second-tier contribution rate of 4%. This means high earners will contribute significantly more, though their benefits will also increase over time. In 2025, employees could contribute a maximum of around $4,430 to CPP. For self-employed individuals, the figure doubles, since they must cover both the employee and employer portions. So while this $250 increase may not show up immediately as higher benefits, it does represent a greater investment in future income. It's crucial to understand that the enhanced CPP is essentially operating as a separate system alongside the existing one. Think of it as a CPP 2.0. Your benefits from this new tier will depend solely on your contributions to it, which means those who are younger now will feel the full effect when they retire in a few decades. For retirees and older workers, the impact will be more limited in the short term. For 2025, a 2% cost of living adjustment is also being added, helping maintain purchasing power against inflation. While it's a helpful addition, it's not a dramatic increase in most people's monthly income. Everyone receiving CPP regardless of when they started collecting will see this adjustment automatically applied. One of the most important factors in determining your CPP benefits is the age at which you choose to begin receiving payments. Starting at age 60 could reduce your payments by up to 36%, while delaying until 70 could boost them by as much as 42%. These percentages can make a significant difference in your long-term financial planning. The cost of implementing these CPP changes is not just financial. There are broader economic and social implications as well. Increased contributions can be a burden for families already struggling with the cost of living. For some, contributing more now for a future return puts additional pressure on household budgets. The government argues that these changes are necessary due to the decline in traditional employer-sponsored pensions. With fewer workers having access to defined benefit pension plans, the CPP must take on a greater role in providing retirement security. Still, not everyone agrees with this reasoning. Critics question the timing and scale of the increased contributions and express concern over how this might affect employment practices. Small and medium-sized businesses, in particular, may face new challenges. Since employers must match employee contributions, their payroll costs could rise. This may influence hiring decisions or even lead to wage stagnation in some sectors. Over time, these factors could ripple through the Canadian economy. For financial advisors, the evolving CPP has already changed the conversation around retirement planning. Older advice often centered around modest expectations for government pensions, emphasizing personal savings through tools like tax-free savings accounts, TFSAs, and registered retirement savings plans, RRSPs. With the enhanced CPP promising better payouts down the line, younger Canadians might not need to rely as heavily on these personal accounts, though uncertainty still makes personal savings crucial. For those in their 40s and 50s, the changes might make a noticeable difference, but likely won't transform their retirement outlook entirely. If you're in this age group, you may receive better payments than today's retirees, but nowhere near the full benefit that someone starting work in 2025 might eventually receive. For millennials and Gen Z, though, the CPP could become a cornerstone of their retirement income. Even with these enhancements, it's critical to remember that CPP alone is unlikely to provide a comfortable retirement. It's meant to be one pillar in a multi-source retirement strategy. People should continue to explore private savings, workplace pensions, and other investments. Understanding how the enhanced CPP fits into this bigger picture is vital.